As scandals go, Roger Stone, it's fair to say, isn't a covert guy, a self-confessed dirty trickster.
We love you, Roger!
As Republican as they come, a Richard Nixon tattoo on his back, he carried Donald Trump to victory, his presidency described as a Roger Stone production. But days before being sent to prison, he's been freed at the final hour by his old friend, the president. That merchandise, now out of date.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for giving me the offer. Thank you for saving my life, because I don't think at my age and in my medical condition I would have survived in a COVID-infested prison.
Stone, the president's former advisor, was found guilty of 7 crimes, among them lying under oath and tampering with witnesses to protect Mr. Trump in the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. However, the president delivered his own verdict, as he often does, via Twitter. Roger Stone was targeted by an illegal witch hunt that never should have taken place. It is the other side that are criminals, including Biden and Obama, who spied on my campaign and got caught.
This is a witch hunt. Witch hunts all the time. That's all you want to talk about.
The entire thing has been a witch hunt.
This is a witch hunt like nobody's ever seen before.
That hunt he's referring to, of course, the Mueller report into interference in the 2016 presidential election. As a result, Roger Stone was one of 6 Trump associates to be charged. While this is a get-out-of-jail-free card, it isn't a pardon. It comes just after a court denied Stone's request to delay the start of his 40-month prison term.
Who would have believed that one? Thank you.
Widespread anger from the Democrats, who accuse Donald Trump of having one law for his criminal friends and another for everyone else.
Well, if you lie for the president, if you cover up for the president, if you withhold incriminating evidence for the president, you get a pass from Donald Trump.
And from within his own party too, Mitt Romney did not hold back. Unprecedented, historic corruption. An American president commutes the sentence of a person convicted by a jury of lying to shield that very president. While Stone still says he's innocent, most of Trump's predecessors waited until the last days of their presidency to spare their associates, knowing the political backlash they would generate. But as we know, this president revels in controversy.
Thank you very much.
Well, joining me now is Evan McMullen, a former Central Intelligence Agency operations officer who ran as an independent presidential candidate during the 2016 election. Thanks for coming on the program. So why do you think Roger Stone got his free out of jail card?
I think he got his get out of jail free card because he protected the president, and the president wants to signal to others who might take the same steps and not implicate the president in crimes that could damage him politically or make him vulnerable to legal risk himself. He wants to signal to other cronies, other advisors, that he'll protect them, and therefore that kind of activity is less risky than it should be.
Right. Well, there are plenty of presidents who've pardoned felons who were their friends or allies before leaving office. Why is this different?
Well, you mentioned that, but, it really is different. First of all, I would say that I'm uncomfortable with any president pardoning his or her friend or ally. It just shouldn't happen. And I think a lot of Americans have serious concerns about that, and it just shouldn't happen. It's a form of corruption. But in this case, you have a loyalist of President Trump who lied to Congress and who obstructed investigations in order to protect the president. He's admitted this recently. He tried to protect the president. He did protect the president, and now the president is protecting him. And so at this point, and remember, this was all about the Russian interference in our elections in 2016. Roger Stone was a conduit to WikiLeaks, which was a front for Russian intelligence. Roger Stone was a conduit between the campaign and WikiLeaks. The campaign, including Trump himself, we know from released court documents, used Roger Stone to inquire about what WikiLeaks had and what would be coming next, so the campaign could prepare to capitalize on it, to exploit it. In doing that, they encouraged WikiLeaks and the Russians to continue doing what they were doing. And this represents a major threat to our democracy still, and they're protecting themselves. It's a cover-up.
Okay, so what Trump seems to be doing at the moment is doubling down on his base, but that's not enough to get him re-elected. So what do you think he's actually up to?
Well, you're right to make that observation, and I agree with it. But if you're Trump and you're hearing that advice from people like, advisors, savvy campaign advisors, you're saying to yourself, look, they were my instincts that got me elected in 2016. He won't mention sort of the Russian hacking and all of that, but he believes in his instincts, and he believes that the polls are wrong. I think he probably actually does believe that, and he trusts himself, and that's sort of a hallmark of his personality. I think he's wrong, frankly. He's losing terribly in the polls. A lot can still happen. There's a ton of time left, but I think that he trusts his instincts, and that's what's happening.